Welcome to a brand new episode of the Jampack Report today for September the 2nd of 2020. Of course, my name is Samuel Adams, and this is a daily gaming news podcast meant to bring you the hottest news you need to know from around the industry, hosted on YouTube and podcast services around the world 5 days a week. It is your one-stop shop for everything you need to know. So if you enjoy the show and you like what you see, hit that subscribe button and keep coming back for more. However, today we are talking more about Xbox at the Tokyo Game Show because it looks like there is not going to be any next-gen news whenever the show is held later this month. Xbox has told fans not to expect any next-gen console news during its 50-minute Tokyo Game Show showcase later this month. However, Xbox later clarified that its stream would focus on celebrating Japanese game creators and games, updates coming to Flight Simulator, and Japanese Minecraft community creativity. It will also be broadcast in Japanese only. Quote, "Our presence at Tokyo Game Show will celebrate the visionary creators and vibrant players in the region," it said on Xbox.com. Tune in to see the latest on games, content from our Japanese partners and players, and further details on Xbox services. Tokyo Game Show 2020 Online will be held for 4 days from September 24th, with various companies including major publishers providing game updates and new announcements via TGS's official streaming and video channels. Xbox head Phil Spencer has been very open with regards to his desire to improve Xbox's position in Japan. Earlier this year, the Xbox boss said that he felt the platform's market position in Japan was not acceptable and pledged to do a much better job with the Series X launch in the region. It was later confirmed that Xbox Series X would launch in Japan during the 2020 holiday season. Spencer has also stated multiple times that he would like to add a Japanese developer to Xbox's first-party studio lineup in order to create content that better appeals to the Japanese audience. So this is not any new news. This is something that has been around for quite some time, that Xbox has had trouble breaking into the Japanese market, where PlayStation absolutely dominates. Now, that is one element of this. Another element is that there will be no next-gen news at the show. We still know nothing about the price nor the release date of the Xbox Series X. On top of that, there is an all but confirmed Xbox Series S that has not been confirmed at all by Microsoft. Unless there is some kind of out of left field random Tuesday kind of announcement coming from the company, we are running out of time to detail these consoles. It is September. These are launching in November. Are you kidding me? It's getting to be a bit ridiculous from both Xbox and PlayStation. It is wild to me that we have a console releasing from both major companies that has yet to get a price nor a release date. That blows my mind. However, with that being taken into account, it does make sense for Xbox to go in hard at the Tokyo Game Show and showcase what they are doing to cater to fans in the region and to expand the brand. They have to increase their market penetration outside of North America and Europe. But specifically outside of North America, because that is where the Xbox absolutely dominates. And quite frankly, you are going to have to expand to become a much more globalized company if you want to directly compete with the likes of Sony in terms of the console sales. But I am still looking forward to the show. I am still looking forward to seeing how they try and pitch themselves to that specific region, because again, the market penetration there is going to be a much more difficult task as compared to in North America or in Europe. But it is not impossible depending on the games and depending on the strategy you take going in. But moving on to the next story of the day, Marvel's Avengers was the most downloaded beta in PlayStation history. Square Enix has announced the Marvel's Avengers beta was globally the most downloaded beta in the history of the PlayStation brand, and news of this achievement was announced on Twitter. Earlier this week, it was announced the beta on all platforms attracted 6 million players from around the world. Participants spent around 27 million hours in the game, and yesterday the latest War Table presentation revealed Kate Bishop as the game's first DLC character and will be made available in October. The stream also went over 4 high-level mission types. These are Villain Sectors, Shield Vaults, AIM's Secret Lab, and Mega Hives. Marvel's Avengers will be available for PS4, Xbox One, Stadia, and PC on September the 4th, and on the next-gen consoles in holiday 2020. Players who own the current-gen version of the game will also be able to upgrade to the next-gen version at no additional cost. which is, of course, very good news. But overall, this game is going to do some very, very big numbers. Now, I did not believe in the game to begin with because of the reception that it got from the general public during the beta. Streamers seemed to have some complaints, and in general, it seemed like anyone who was not a hardcore Marvel fan was either lukewarm or kind of reluctant to recommend the game. But it seems that as people have gotten into the gameplay and they've gotten into the campaign itself and they've started to become invested in the story, it has become a much more enjoyable experience, and so I think that it's probably going to end up being one of the best-selling games of the year, because this is an incredibly powerful brand. The Avengers is a huge name in the entertainment space, let alone in the gaming space, and so to be able to have a game that looks as good as Marvel's Avengers does and that plays as well as people say that it plays, now that the entire game is out, it's been a little bit more optimized, etc., it still is going to be a very important game for 2020, and especially going into the launch of the new console cycle. Now, if you do want to play, PlayStation seems to be the place to play. They have that exclusive agreement with Marvel, which is, of course, giving you Spider-Man. So if you do want to do that, it seems like that is going to be the most comprehensive experience. But that is not to say that the Xbox players, the PC players, etc., are not going to have a fantastic time as well. Spider-Man is not going to be the, I suppose, foundation of the story. He is not going to be a major part of the main campaign. He's more supplemental than anything. But still very good looking results here, and of course that beta is very, very significant when it comes to gauging the interest in the game itself, and there is a lot of interest. Now personally, I didn't play the game, but that's just because I'm not a big Marvel guy myself. Sue me. But that rounds out today's episode of the Jampack Report, a brief one, but still very important to bring you guys the hottest news you need to know 5 days a week. So if you enjoyed it, subscribe on your podcast platform or YouTube channel, and I will talk to you soon. Peace.